everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Just Because You Can. We're still waiting on artwork and stuff, so we still have placeholders in place, and we're still using the Scratticus version of the overlay, but I promise you things are coming very soon. I think I actually did something different with this overlay last time as well. I think I might have made it a cloudy sky or something, but hey, this'll do. Before we go round, let's please pop. All the links are being posted in chat. Please take a second to check them out. We've got all of our social links, places you can go and support us. Sponsor information, please check out Mage Hand Press, and Bird in the Storm Publishing, who are our sponsors who make this all possible. And also check out all the websites where we have 10 to 15% discount, and the tweet where you can go and retweet and support the stream for free. With that done, let's go around and say hello to our players. First of all, quick note on Captain Faye. They will be joining us halfway through. So I'll post their Twitter handle in chat, and we'll go around and say hello to Bonishka next. Oh, hi, Bonnie.
Oh, hi. I'm Bonishka. You can find me here on Wednesday nights and on Twitter at Bonishka, where I tweet about a lot of tabletop RPGs.
Fantastic. And next around, we have the wonderful A. Kelly Lane.
Oh, that's me.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelly, A. Kelly Lane on Twitter, A. Kelly in chat. I suddenly forgot everything about myself. Oh, yeah, so I play Serena here on this show. I also DM on Monday nights. We took a break this week, but we will be back in full force next week with scheming. I've got extra time to scheme now. It's going to be wonderful. So come check out Tilt at 10:30 p.m. EST.
What?
And then Saturdays, including this Saturday and next Saturday, you can find me on Wandering DM, playing in a Pulp Cthulhu game, which is super fun. And then I also write articles for Scrat's Patreon. You don't have to be a paid patron. You just have to be a loving patron to read our articles up there.
Very true. Lots of scheming and also really hot NPCs. That's basically all the players talk about, is how hot the PCs are. Yeah, we're totally not a bunch of trash fires playing a bunch of trash fires. Lastly, but most certainly not leastly, Renee!
Hi, I'm Renee. I am here for my Wednesday double feature on Scratticus Academy, which I absolutely love because I get to play this game and then I get to play Eden right afterwards. So stick around. I will still be here for that one. I guess two big things for me right now. I am going to D&D Live this weekend. So if anyone is there, feel free to stop me and say hi. I will look different every day, but I will try to put it on Twitter because one day I'll definitely have long blonde hair, and then on another day I think I'll have short teal hair. So we'll see how it all pans out. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I would love to say hi to anyone from the Academy who is there. And then also, Edenfall is still casting for a little bit longer. It is a podcast adaptation of Eden, which is the game coming up right after this one. We're in season 2 of the stream, and then the podcast will adapt at least the first season and includes the original cast, but also a large cast of additional characters. So pretty much every NPC Alice played, we're casting someone from the community for. So we'd love to hear your auditions. You can find out more about that at Edenfallcast on Twitter in the pinned tweet there. And I think that's it. I'm Renee.
Yeah, let me just fill in the Eden Full Cast.
Yes.
Twitter. Oh, is that the thing? I think I did the thing. There we go. There's the thing. Great. So today, we're going to take last week. Would anyone like to do a recap?
Yes. I'm volunteering. We don't have to do
Okay. Okay.
So last week we met all of our angsty high school teenagers. Lila, who is playing the bull, I believe. Yes. Oh no, you're not.
No, sorry.
Bull is Faye Kai.
Yeah.
What is yours?
I'm the delinquent.
The delinquent. Ah, yes. Okay. And then Kelly and I are playing The Doomed and The Joined, which are 2 play sets that work together, and are sisters. So we saw each day in the life a little bit as each character arrived at school, what kind of their opinions of the other people were, what their opinions about class are, and they headed all to the newspaper room, which is where Serena, Kelly's character, hangs out a lot of the time, because in our fictional school, in our country that combines a bunch of different traditions, we have a tea break during the school day. And the newspaper room is the only place with tea. But inside, mysterious envelopes addressed to each of us, which could have been about our driver's license, but more likely were about our vigilante licenses, because wow, we're all superheroes. And so there was a lot of like staring at each other and trying to figure out what was actually going on until the water burst and everyone kind of revealed their powers / figured it out. We all met up after school for superhero training once we were kind of aware of where everyone stood, and ran through a trial test run that wasn't supposed to be a test. We didn't do very well. I'm not sure what that means for us long term in our superhero pursuits, but our ultimate goal, once we realized we needed to study, we're all heading over to Serena's work so she can hopefully not have her boss yell at her again. And we'll be hanging out at a diner doing some superhero studying and try to work out how to function like a team. So we were bad at that.
I mean, that's, you know, you're your harshest critic, but
We were
yes, essentially.
Yeah.
So whilst you're all in the car heading over to the diner, who would like to be picked on first for a flashback?
I just volunteered to do the recap.
I mean, we can always...
I was gonna say I can volunteer.
Okay. So, Lila. Okay. So, Lila... yeah. I would like... Do you have on you any pictures?
Actual physical pictures?
Mm-hmm. Or do you like treasure any of them? Is there any pictures that you keep around your bedroom, maybe, or that you have somewhere hidden away, maybe not even on show, just in a drawer, something that means something to you?
Okay. Yes, she does have a picture kind of pinned up on one of the cork boards where you would stick like flyers and things in her bedroom. It's just a kind of a candid snapshot of her and her cousin at one of the summer fairs. They were both trying to feed this Clydesdale horse like handfuls of hay, and he was just not having it. He was just kind of like not looking at them, much preferred to sniff their hair instead. So It's just this picture of her and her cousin Regis standing there with handfuls of hay, just laughing as this horse tickled the tops of their heads.
And how old were you?
Probably Lila was about 9 and Regis was probably 12.
And who was at 9? You wouldn't have been unsupervised, right? Who was with you that day?
Her aunt, Lila's aunt, Matilda, was there. She had been the one to take them to see the horses in the horse barn when everyone else wanted to go and get ice cream.
Okay. Do you remember where your grandfather was that day?
He was not at the fair that day.
Mm-hmm.
He had been invited, but had declined because he said it was too crowded and too noisy. And he didn't like being around so many people at once.
Okay, so I would like to zoom in on this event, if that's okay with you. I'd like to go with you and your cousin Regis. Kelly or Renee, I'd like one of you to play Regis in this scene, if possible.
I'll play Regis.
Just for total improv here.
Yeah.
So now that leaves it up to me or you, Kelly, to play Lila's aunt. What was her name again?
Matilda.
Aunt Matilda.
I can play Aunt Matilda.
Okay, so from the snapshot, we'll just sort of zoom in and it will go live as the horse is just sort of like sniffing your head, Lila. You can hear fair music in the background.
If you're not careful, the horse is gonna eat your hair.
If he wants hair instead of hay, then he's just silly. Mine's not even the same color as hay.
Horses aren't particular.
Here. And she tries to like put the hay on top of her hair so that the horse will go for the hay instead.
Make sure you offer it with your palm flat.
He doesn't want it.
Well, you don't want him to bite your fingers either.
Well, is this gonna work?
Oh,
No.
Walk away for 1 minute.
Now you look ridiculous, Lila.
I just like the big horses. He's gotta be at least 3 times as tall as me. Do you think one day I'd ever get big enough to ride him?
Yeah, I got bigger in the last year, and you'll catch up to me soon.
I hope so. One day I think it'd be really cool to just, just be on one of these horses that's so fast and so strong. You could just go whatever you wanted. You know? Nobody can hold you down.
Where would you go?
Probably Paris.
Very cool.
I
Send
hear they
us a
have.
postcard?
Well, you can come too if you want.
Okay, yeah.
There's probably room on him for 2.
Okay.
But yeah. Auntie, we can send you pastries from Paris.
You definitely know the way to my heart.
I'll send you a postcard. It'll have the Eiffel Tower on it.
Aunt Matilda just like eating snacks in the background.
Like every character I play.
So was there anything in particular that the two of you wanted to do at the fair? There's a lot of routes, a lot of rides, and attractions. You can hear hawkers. Oh yeah, we're not in any particular place, are we? We're in our own fusion place. So there's hawkers who are like, "Get you, candy flows, yeah, candy flows, bucket of pam, candy flows," and that's straight from my childhood. You're welcome. Dodgems / bumper cars, all of that sort of stuff. Thank you, Kelly, for translating in chat.
I learned that one a long time ago.
Lila just really wanted to see the horses. Like, that was all she wanted to do. She didn't care about riding the rides, especially since, it's a mobile fair. Most of them aren't as impressive as if you went to like a amusement park. They're just kind of like Ferris wheels, like maybe spinner arounds. She just wanted to see the horses and knew that most of her family weren't going to be super up for it.
I wonder if they would have like the pony rides that they have for little kids sometimes. They're like not the big, they have the pen with all the big horses in it, and then right next door you have just the like walking the ponies around in the circle.
Hell, if you want, this fair can lead onto the beach. This is a city of our own creation, and you can have donkey rides on the beach.
That sounds cool. Lila pretty much probably didn't know that was a option before they got there.
And how does Aunt Matilda feel about donkey rides on the beach?
I feel like, given the adventurous nature of her son and her niece, that Aunt Matilda is probably encourages this behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the cool aunt, right?
And Lila, for clarity, for not just us playing, but also the audience, your grandfather was the family superhero. Is that correct? Was that known? Are you like a family of superheroes, or is it just him?
Out of character, he is the only superhero who's been in the family for many generations. And he kept it pretty close to the chest. There may have been some suspicions, but nothing ever confirmed. They just know that he's kind of an old, grumpy man right now who just hates crowds, won't go to parties, won't go to anything noisy with lots of people. Just can't handle it.
Yeah. And probably what would have been relevant, this is what, 8-10 years before we're currently playing? This is Scrat revealing that he doesn't actually know how old seniors are. So probably it would have been relevant around the time. There would have been a lot of legislation going through about heroes for the first time, and a lot of debate about it. How did your family feel about superheroes having to register, get licenses, and all that sort of thing?
That's a good question. Lila's father was very vocal in his support of knowing who is a superhero, knowing what they can do, being able to recognize them on sight, maybe even have a tracker, like an app, as apps started to become a thing, that when you're close to a superhero, it would tell you, and you could know what they were doing. He very much thought that there could be a great danger to the nation and that these sorts of things needed to be taken care of and known about and, if necessary, removed as a risk. And everyone else in the family didn't take such a strong perspective on it. The grandfather is Lila's mom's father, and Mom and Aunt Matilda are sisters. And I don't know if Matilda ever had suspicions, but Lila's mom definitely had suspicions. So would kind of placate her husband, but not really agree or disagree either way.
Okay, fantastic. And to be clear, your grandfather, was that on your mother's side or your father's side?
Mother's side.
Mother's side. Interesting. Drama. Okay, got it.
Tension.
We're here for the drama.
Yeah, so, and there would be a lot of people discussing this at the moment. It might not be like tabletop talk every day, but, you know, almost certainly you can't have a big event like this without people coming to cheer on their soapboxes, so there will be someone around holding flyers saying things like, the more jurisdiction we force on superheroes, the more are going to be forced or feel forced to turn to crime. If we make it hard for people to do good, they'll turn to bad. And, you know, people are also combating that with other claims that, you know, people have a right to know if someone can see through their walls and walk into their house and that sort of thing. Does Lila have any, even at this young age, does Lila have any feelings on the matter?
She doesn't quite know what to think about it. She can look at the superheroes, and many of them she's a little bit afraid of because they can do a lot of things, and the most vocal voice in her life is the one of fear. She doesn't have any strong voices of reason, not reason, but of, you know, everyone has a right to right to privacy, right to freedom. She doesn't have any strong influence in that. So her instinct is fear, and that maybe we should know who they are, but it doesn't really seem to be something that's relevant to her daily life. She doesn't see it in school, really. She doesn't see it in her daily activities.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me stepping in as Aunt Matilda, I wonder if maybe Lila would have overheard her aunt and her mom talking about the topic with her dad not around.
I like that.
And maybe there were some more firm words exchanged between Aunt Matilda and Lila's mom about the opposite effect. But it wasn't going to be a present voice in your life, but maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you know that these other opinions do exist.
And so it's probably around this time, whilst you guys are stroking the horses, that you see the sign saying "to the beach" and donkey rides and that sort of.
Oh, can we go on a donkey ride? I didn't know you could ride them.
Oh, goodness. Yes, of course. We'll go.
Yes.
We're here for you to pet furry creatures and do whatever you want.
Paris, here we come.
Well, donkeys are much smaller than Clydesdales, Regis. So I don't know if they're going to make it to Paris.
Shoot, I had my bag packed and everything.
You did not. I'll punch him in the shoulder as high up as I can reach.
I think he ruffles your hair a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you guys get to the donkey ride, there's a fairly heavy-set gentleman wearing a white vest and shorts. You sort of think Danny DeVito for a face claim, sort of, and you know. And as you approach, he looks to Aunt Matilda, seeing the money, and says, "Yeah, 1, 2, okay, 2 donkeys. That'll be $5."
Wait,
Okay.
Auntie, aren't you riding?
I will walk alongside and make sure nothing, odd happens.
Okay.
Alright, yeah. Benny, we need 2! And a boy Lila's age comes around the corner, leading 2 donkeys.
What color are they?
They are sort of a sandy brown with grey manes that are quite well brushed, although donkey manes are always fairly straw-like.
Is one of them darker than the other?
Maybe very slightly. One's more grey than brown, maybe.
Okay. Lila will go stand next to the gray one and kind of like put her hand out like you would let a dog smell your hand.
Yeah, and the donkey immediately starts sort of and almost not nibbling but like lipping your hand, and Benny sort of says to you, "Here, he's looking for one of these," and passes you a carrot stick.
Oh, thank you. What's his name?
Well, we mainly go for functional names. This one's Sandy, and this one's Gray.
Hi, Sandy. Let's reach up, kind of scritch him.
There's a mountain block just over here, and he's going to pull the horses over towards the mountain block. Regis, imagine you'd be coming with.
Yeah, I think he's mostly kind of watching Lila, because she's more excited about this, but he's enjoying that she's excited. So yeah, he'll follow.
Yeah. And how are you guys feeling at the moment?
This is like the cherry on top of the ice cream. She got to go to the fair. She got to see the horses. Now she gets to ride something that's much smaller than a Clydesdale, but it's got 4 legs and it's got hooves and it's got a mane. And oh my goodness, I can't believe I get to ride one. On the beach, no less.
I think Regis is proud.
And Aunt Matilda, a bit of extra information for you. You know one of the other reasons that Lila's grandfather couldn't make it today is because he's attending a talk. Not hosting a talk, but attending a talk on legislations and what it's going to mean for superheroes today. Not making any decisions yet, but the sort of opinions that are expressed today could help determine the future.
So like some kind of like debate or something like that?
Yeah,
or...
sort of like in England we have question time, where the public can go and harangue politicians who basically ignore them.
Okay, yeah, we have something similar. Highly similar.
Yeah. But he's gone to one of those. How is Aunt Matilda feeling today?
I think Aunt Matilda has been. Seems like she's distracted because of kind of everything that's going on. I think she and Lila's mother both have some suspicions, but it's something that the family just doesn't speak about. You don't talk about it. You don't deal with that, and they might be the only two. And the only reason they talk about it is because sisters have that kind of close bond. I think it probably wasn't too long ago that Aunt Matilda kind of bothered Lila's mother into why she doesn't kind of stand up to her husband a little bit more and take a firmer stance. How the kids should see that there are varying opinions out in the world and blah, 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 blah. And Aunt Matilda's very political and like, rah. But kind of holds it back because she believes like you have the right to raise your kids how you want. So it's all kind of hushed discussions in the background. So there's been a lot of tension. And so Aunt Matilda saw this as an opportunity to kind of take Lila out and give her some of that sense of adventure back and give her some exposure to the world, maybe. And she hopes that kind of Regis will rub off on Lila, maybe. And I think she's also been distracted by the different people kind of shouting at the fair about these political topics, because on one side she like wants to go up and smack half of them, and on the other side she's like, it's a family fair, can I just get some peace from this for a minute? So I think she's very distracted, but she's very excited to kind of push both of the kids kind of out and give them some experiences.
Okay, thank you. And Benny is leading both of your donkeys. This is kind of his everyday job, so he's sort of falling just into steps, sort of thing, just walking. You can see he's very tanned, in fact, from where he spends all day walking in the sun. Yeah, you guys are riding donkeys
On the beach.
on the beach.
Yay.
This is a cool experience. I think Regis just keeps kind of like checking in on Lila though to make sure that she's having a good time.
Yeah, she's definitely having a good time. You can probably tell that she wishes the donkey was going a little bit faster, because it's probably not a super energetic, excited donkey. But she's just happy to be here.
Thank you. And Tater has just gifted Renee a sub. That's the 86th sub they've given in the channel. We're starting to push a century now. Tater, thank you so much for your continued support, bud.
Hype, hype, hype.
Yeah, and this kid isn't making any sort of motion to speed up or anything. The donkey's been pretty much trained to ignore whatever the person on in the seat does. It's used to kids getting on and like trying to buck it and G it on and all the rest of it, and it's just plodding. Although it does, it is looking back at you every now and again, because you did give it some carrot stick, and not every rider does that. You can see more rides around. There's some roller coasters which you probably don't quite make the height requirements for. There's there's people sunbathing. It's a beautiful day today. The clouds have given way for a beautiful day. And did we ever decide a name of the actual place as a whole? I don't think we did. We'll do that in the future. But it's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Hey, Lila, I think I see the Eiffel Tower up ahead.
No, you don't. That's just the bell tower.
Oh.
So, Lila, what is it about today that has led you this far in your memory? What does something go wrong? Does something go right? Do you see something that induces thoughts? Is it something to do with Aunt Matilda?
Today is probably the last of the more innocent kind of childhood days. It's a Saturday, and she can remember the Sunday following that her grandfather came over for Sunday lunch and was after, well, she doesn't know what it was after, but Grandpa and Dad got into a huge argument over dinner, and Grandpa never came back to the house because he had a heart attack that week. I went to the hospital, and her parents never really got along as well after that. Mom got much quieter around Dad. And Dad got a little bit quieter for a couple of years, but he's back to his normal vocal self now. And it's just it was such a perfect day with the sun, hanging out with Regis, who I don't get to see very much anymore since he's in school. Mom smiled more that day, and Aunt Matilda was around more. Now she doesn't come around as much anymore either.
Why don't we wind forward to that, to maybe returning then? Unless, Renee or Kelly, there's anything else you'd like to do at the fair with Lila? I see that face, Kelly.
I think Aunt Matilda would just kind of shove her full of sugar and send her home.
Awesome. And despite you being full of sugar, when you do get back, your mother is very pleased to see you. I can't. I'm not very good at doing your accent in particular, Banishka, Bonnie, for your character, but I'll try. Welcome back. How was it?
Oh, it was so great. It was so sunshiny, and I had probably 3 cotton candies. But that was okay because it was a little while ago, and Aunt Matilda said I didn't look too sugary and I wasn't talking too fast. And we saw the horses, and they were huge. And I got to ride on a donkey, and we did go on the merry-go-round. That was the first thing we did because it's, they're sort of horses, but they're not real horses. But we got to go on like donkeys later.
And she sort of scoops you up and is like, "Oh, that's great!" And is looking over her shoulder at Aunt Matilda "Free cotton candies. That's a brilliant," and set you down and send you off to go and okay, go and get ready for dinner if you can fit anything else in after all of that.
I'll try.
Regis, yep. Off you go. Regis, good to see you.
Hiya, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How's school?
School's fine. I'm not so great at math. But I'll pass the next test probably.
You should probably go and get ready too.
Like rolls her eyes.
And once she's sort of sent Regis off as well, she'll be like, so how was it today? To Matilda.
Well, it was good. I mean, like the kid said, they got to explore a little. I think Lila got to see what she was hoping to see. There was a lot of people there talking about the proposed legal changes, which I was surprised at, given the fact that it's, fair. But overall, we had a good time.
Get them while they're young, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's good for kids to grow up with a healthy sense of civic responsibility and the chance to have their own opinions and be exposed to new ideas.
Mm-hmm. So, Dad's gone off to that talk today as well.
Yeah, I think if he would have let me, I probably would have joined him, but this was a really good chance to bond with my niece. I wonder what Dad will come back thinking. It's very quiet.
Matilda might get the impression that maybe Lila's mum... Do we have a name for Lila's mum?
Mindy.
Mindy. Might also be a little quiet on the matter, despite Matilda, talking about her in a way that no one else... Talking with her in a way that no one else will, sort of thing. She still is a little reserved. Maybe Matilda might mistake that for her agreeing with her husband or otherwise, but...
I think Matilda just kind of closes the gap between the two of them so that they're not kind of speaking very loudly. She's not going to whisper, but she's going to be hushed tones and just say, it's good of Lila to hear an opinion that isn't your husband's sometimes. You're allowed to share your own with her too.
Yeah, I had to get some stuff done today anyway. It's good that you guys had fun. And she sort of smiles again, and that's probably when Lila comes back into the room, and why she'd have such vivid memories, because Mindy's smiling again, which is nice. And yeah, you guys have a meal, you have a good evening. We'll skip over the argument bit between Grandpa and Dad, as it were. But maybe, as memories often want to do, skip forward to a sadder time at the hospital. I think Renee will probably get you to change to another character for this, but would Matilda have been there? Bonnie, I'm asking.
Sorry. Probably at some point. I don't know if she'd be there at the same time. She maybe would have purposefully come at a different time.
Ooh, sorry, punch the mic. Okay. Yeah. And, you guys, 9, you'd still be doing, junior school, right? And stuff like that. So after school and stuff, you can go and visit. And, do you remember when your grandpa gave you the ring? Was it soon after this event, or was it later on?
No, it was, while he was in the hospital. Lila and her mom had gone to visit him, and her father is working late that day and wasn't there. And he'd been working late a lot this week. And Lila was sitting next to her grandpa, extremely uncomfortable, not sure what to do in a hospital. It smells funny, it looks funny, everything's hard and kind of uncomfortable, and there's weird noises, and the bed sheets crinkle strangely, and Grandpa doesn't look like Grandpa because he's not in his, knitted sweater. He's in a hospital gown instead, and has one of the oxygen tubes. And she doesn't know what to do. And Mindy is probably trying to get some information from one of the nurses and turns and says, I'll be right, well, if I'm role-playing her now, she'll say that she'll be right back and kind of walk out the room. And Lila's just kind of there with her grandpa. And that she remembers him kind of reaching underneath his hospital gown and pulling out like a chain that had a small ring on it. And it's the same ring that she wears on her little finger now. She doesn't remember ever seeing it before. And he kind of tries to pull it over his head, but the wires get stuck and get in the way. And his IV's getting tangled and everything, so he ends up just kind of popping it off the chain. And hands it to her and tells her not to tell her dad. Can't hear you, Scrat.
And how does I was muted. How does Lila feel in this moment? I imagine that even as a child, the symbolism would be fairly relevant to you of him passing on this ring.
Yeah, she's heard stories. She's heard fairy tales. She knows what happens when someone is on their deathbed and they pass off a last item that is very precious to them. It sort of feels removed from her because that happens in stories, but this is real life, and she doesn't know what to do with the ring, and she doesn't know what to say to Grandpa. And he tells her that she doesn't have to put it on if she doesn't want to. And she doesn't really know what that means. Because if it's Grandpa's ring, how in the world would it fit her finger anyway?
Mm-hmm.
And that would probably be when Mindy came back into the room.
Yeah.
And Lila just kind of closes it in her hand and shoves it in her pocket.
I think Mindy comes back into the room, and Mindy looks really tired. You suspect... Oh well, meta knowledge as players, Mindy's been spending a bit too much time at the hospital. I think we all know the trope's not the right word. We've possibly even been there when you just assume that someone's strong and you're worried about someone, but you don't show it, and then suddenly they're not okay, and you feel guilty. I think Mindy's been spending a lot of the time at the hospital for exactly those reasons. And I think as Mindy comes back in, looking very tired, doesn't notice the ring at all. She's too tired. I think I'd like Matilda to come in as well, if that's okay with you, Bonnie.
Yeah.
And Matilda, as you come in, you know Mindy. You two have been spending a lot of time at the hospital, obviously, but you can see Mindy showing real signs of fatigue.
And Aunt Matilda knows that she's not going to get her sister necessarily to leave. But she might get her to like. She says something like, "How about you take a break? You can sit down, take a nap. I can take Lila. We can get some food, bring it back to you."
Yeah, I'll just go and sit in the waiting room for just a minute. Maybe get a cup of tea or something.
Yeah. Take. We're all in this together. Somebody else can take a shift.
Yeah. Okay. Renee, I'd like to gift you the a nurse character. Essentially, the nurses are gonna know that Grandpa's body's been through some weird things. Probably up until he's just given away the ring. In fact, it's the first time his body has become normal in a long time. Could you? What was your grandpa's superpowers, Lila?
He also had teleportation.
Yeah. So there's a lot of. I'm thinking like a scientist, and I shouldn't because it just leads to bad things. There's. I'm just gonna leave it vague so people can use their own imaginations and their own scientific logic to figure out what exactly has happened. He's got a lot of damage which isn't necessarily natural, and they don't necessarily know what procedures to use to go ahead.
Yeah. So the nurse comes in and kind of nods to everyone and says, "Hi, good evening. You all doing all right?"
Mindy's gone to go and take a rest.
Is Matilda still there though? Matilda
Yeah.
and Lila?
Yes, indeed.
And like she looks at them and is kind of making small talk, but really she goes over and is checking the charts and checks his vitals as well as the IV. And then she kind of pauses and looks from his charts to his vitals to the IV. Do one of you know if the nurse came in earlier to change out the medication?
I just got here a few minutes ago for the day, but Lila, has anybody else come by?
Somebody came by about an hour ago. They changed the
Okay.
IV bag.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I'm gonna check with the doctor. This is not quite having the desired effect, but we're going to talk about other options and what that might mean. We'll try and cater a health plan accordingly for your loved one.
Okay.
And then she does the thing where she checks the charts and the vitals and the IV again and knits her eyebrows together a little bit, kind of shakes her head, makes a few notes, and then ducks out without being quite as courteous on the way out.
And I think Aunt Matilda might notice this, and she would go over to look at everything herself. Not that she knows anything, but because she's a curious person.
And the news is bad. We're not gonna look at the last moments of Grandpa, but it's not good. As Lila's sitting in the car in present times, how does she feel reflecting on these two very disparate memories?
She remembers, she feels that for so long she's preferred to go back to the day where everything was good and she was happy with the people she was around and they were doing things that they wanted to do, and she was getting to almost live her dream a little bit there with the donkeys and the horses and everything, to thinking about how there were days afterwards, so soon afterward, maybe ever since, where she's kind of felt a little bit out of place in a lot of those relationships and a lot of her time at home, and maybe this is her new donkey ride on the beach. For people who are like her. Maybe she fits in here.
As you look out the window, I perhaps we'll see a traffic cop on horseback. Seems quite symbolic at the moment. Who does Lila look at next in the car?
Probably Jillian, because Jillian was the first one she saw to have powers. And she was just kind of like marveling at how like Jillian, her friendship with Jillian might be the opposite, where for years in school there was no reason for them to interact. She would be extremely out of place next to Jillian, but wait, they have something that's the same. They have a secret.
Yeah. You all do. I would like to lift up and out of the car, unless you had something there, Kelly. No? Okay. And I'd like to pan across to the school. Sitting around a broken urn at a computer nearby, rather. Maddie is sitting in front of a half-completed article. She's sort of sitting back in her chair and flicking through her phone, looking at pictures of her and Serena together some... What would it be, months or years back? Probably months, right?
Well, I feel like Maddie and Serena have probably known each other for all of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So they've probably met like freshman year or something. So they've been really close. They've been friends for like 4 years now.
But I mean, how long has it been since Serena started developing powers?
I don't know if Renee and I really talked about when that happened.
We hadn't really.
I think it's been somewhat recent. Maybe the past, if we've just started training, maybe the past year.
Yeah, and it could be that older sister, younger sister thing as well, where like when one of you starts to do something, the other one finds out and then wants to do it as well, and just that want makes, which could explain why you've both come into it at different ages, or we could just call it coincidence. That's.
No, it
Well,
definitely
we came into
is
the same event.
Yeah.
So like the same event is how we share that event. So it was at the same time. But yeah, it was on
a year
family
because that would explain why they've been training for as long as they have, which I feel like was kind of implied in our last game, but it hasn't been very long either. So they're not perfect at their abilities, and they're not perfect at working as a team, and they're definitely afraid for the future.
So I would say maybe it was last summer. So we're in like kind of prom season. So it's kind of the end of the school year.
Yeah.
It's maybe last summer.
During their family trip.
During their family vacation.
Okay, cool. So I think maybe Maddie's going to be looking back at pictures of just after that break and definitely before that break. Maybe going all the way back to freshman years. She might have a folder that she might have even made recently just for the convenience of not having to scroll through everything to look at memories. And she's definitely looking back on her friendship with you, and she's gonna stop on one photo. Serena, what is in the photo that she stopped on?
So is this a photo from?
It could be from anywhere, just the two of you being friends. Something that'd hold a good memory.
I think there was, so Serena became editor-in-chief of the school paper this year, and I think after their first like issue came out, they had a little like launch party basically, where the newspaper staff all got together and they had like snacks at school, and since Maddie and Serena have been on the paper together for a while, like they took photos to, you actually see the photo is like the two of them like hardcore cheesing with like the cover of the paper.
Mm-hmm. So why don't we step into the weeks before that event, the weeks leading up to it. Can you describe your relationship with Maddie at the time?
Maddie and Serena have always been pretty close. Like, they're the friends that kind of like, if Serena's going over to anybody's house, it's gonna be Maddie's. If Serena is hanging out with a friend, it's gonna be Maddie. Maddie would come and visit Serena a lot at the diner at work late at night and would study while Serena was on shift to give her somebody to talk to. So like they've been really, really close. But I think that beginning of the school year, the end of the summer, kind of ever since family vacation, Serena had been kind of being more kind of like school, work, home, not like anything extra. They hadn't been seeing each other as much, and Serena kept making kind of excuses about like having to help her sister study or things like that.
Where did Serena go instead?
She would still be with her sister, but they were kind of either at home in one of their rooms kind of testing their new skills, or Serena was kind of getting dragged along by her sister to some random part of town where they were supposed to be testing out what they could do together.
Dragged even though you drove.
Yes. Insisted with Serena driving. And so she was usually kind of wherever.
Perfect. Welcome, Faye. How you doing?
Hello. Whew. I'm good. It's a lot of running around. I'm sorry I'm so late. How are you all?
Glad you're here.
Just fine. You missed a very happy and then very somber backstory for Lila. And we're
Okay.
just getting into some of Serena's and Alyssa's because there's kind of overlap a little.
Alrighty.
You've also been mentioned, so we'll talk about that as well.
All
in
right.
just a
Sounds
short while.
good.
So Serena, it's on one of these excursions that you get a text from Maddie. It just says, "What's going on? I'd like to talk."
And I think wherever this was, or when this was, Serena and Alyssa were actually kind of like getting back in the car after testing some things, and this is kind of early in their figuring things out, so they may not even have their like actual super suits, maybe just kind of like black clothes and like a bandana face mask style, very like rough and tumble. Haven't gotten to that part yet.
Homemade balaclava, sort of.
Yeah.
Towels with a clothespin.
And so they're like getting back in the car, and Serena checks her phone and she's just like, oh crap.
And perhaps the most important question of the entire backstory: what is Serena's ringtone as her phone begins to ring?
Oh boy. The Climb by Miley Cyrus.
Oh shoot, that's not Mom and Dad, right?
No, it's not Mom and Dad.
Okay.
No, it's Maddie, and I don't know if I should pick up the phone or not.
Oh. Have you talked to Alyssa much about what's gone on there?
Yeah, I think Alyssa would know pretty instinctively. I don't know if there has to be anything like clearly said between the two of them. Like, she would know that Serena keeps making excuses not to hang out with Maddie because they're doing what they're doing instead. I don't know if, and I think she would just know that like Serena and Maddie are very good friends.
Yeah, so she just kind of says, I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but would you regret it if you didn't talk to her?
Yeah, but I don't know what to say.
You'll figure it out as you go. Like, we're figuring this out as we go. I guess it's just kind of part of it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have to deal with this. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll take us home.
So it's ringing the second time around now. It rang off whilst you two were talking, and it starts ringing again.
And she'll pick up the phone and she'll say, "Hey, Mads, sorry, I was helping Liz study."
Alyssa's over there, like, throwing her fingers back and forth as just little balls of water.
Yeah. Maddie's just, Serena, what's going on?
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
Come on, Serena, it's been weeks.
I don't know. I've just gotten really busy, and Maddie could be doing a lot better in school, and we're trying to get in the same college, so I'm sorry. I know I haven't been the best friend lately.
Look, if if I did something or if there's
No,
something
no. You didn't do anything wrong. I promise.
we can talk about that,
I know.
I'm-
We can talk.
Totally here for you if you want to talk about it. I can give you space as well if you need space, but I just don't understand what's going on.
There's nothing to understand. I've just been really, really busy, and I'm really sorry. I know I haven't been a great friend. I know I haven't made a lot of time for you lately. There's just been, I don't know why everything's so busy. Senior year, I guess. But maybe next week, after we're done working on the paper after school, we can go get milkshakes or something.
Have you made this kind of promise before?
It's probably somewhat more specific. She's probably said, like, let's do something, but she's never, like, offered, like, something, like, a specific plan.
Okay, yeah, no, that'd be really good. We can grab milkshakes after working on the newspaper.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, you know that you're super important to me.
I mean, I just... I know you guys want to go to the same college, but can't Alyssa just get, like, a swimming spot? Sorry, I shouldn't. Hey, okay, great. I look forward to it. Speak to me soon?
Yeah, of course. I'll see you in class tomorrow.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Me too. I promise.
And we're gonna do the movie thing when no one says goodbye.
So passive aggressive. Oh, that didn't go very well.
It didn't.
No, I mean, I know Maddie, she's either coming up with some ridiculous theory, like we suddenly got superpowers, or she thinks that she upset me somehow. I think she thinks that I'm mad at her for something, which is just not true. It's just really hard to balance everything.
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to any of my friends weeks now. I don't know, I figure they just think I dropped off the planet, or maybe I'm doing drugs. Someone actually asked me that. I don't know if they've gotten to the superpower theory yet, but I don't know.
Feel like
Maybe
it's only a matter of time.
yeah.
If it was like weird to know somebody with superpowers, it'd be one thing, but I feel like everybody knows somebody. Why not us?
I feel like for me, it means two things. One, I need to get better at this superpowered thing really quickly and get better about covering up a secret, but I don't...
May I ask,
Yeah.
has your training been purely about trying to develop your powers and become stronger? Or has it been driven by some sort of fear of exposing yourselves in public? And the answer can be different for both of you.
Ooh. Yeah. Alyssa's is a little bit about... No, hers is mostly about when she discovered her powers, she became inextricably linked with her nemesis. And as she kind of learned more, and she barely knows anything. But she realized she was going to have to be a lot stronger and a lot better at what she was doing in order to make any difference and stand any chance. And if she can't save the world, then she might not have friends at all when all of this is said and done. So part of her excuse was, don't talk to them, focus on what you're doing. And really part of it's just because she doesn't feel like she can look many people in the eye other than Serena. She's ashamed.
Ashamed. Thank you. Serena, do you have a different answer? The same answer? Would you like to add anything?
Because of the bond that the sisters have, it's Serena knows if Alyssa's getting stronger. Like, Serena knows, kind of, not like knows, like could put a number on it and take it out and analyze it and look at it from different directions, but like knows like that gut feeling in your stomach when you know something to be true or wrong, or she knows how Alyssa's doing when it comes to her control and her strength with her powers. And there may have even been a while where Alyssa was kind of exploring that without Serena around, and it made Serena panic, kind of. This is my little sister, she is my responsibility. I can't let her deal with all of this on her own when I should be there doing it too. And then there's also, and I think that's what Serena would say too. Like, I think that's the part of the motivation that she would like share with Alyssa. But there's also something in her that's just this gross curiosity of wanting to know what she can do and what limits she can push and what these powers look like and feel like, and she wants to understand them in this more clinical way. And so that's something that is motivating her too, but it might even be how much that's motivating her may even be like a secret to herself. Like, she's more like, nope, I have to make sure that Alyssa is okay. I have to take care of her. I have to be tough for her. I have to understand this so that I can be by her side through this. We're a team. We're doing this together.
So totally just here supporting Alyssa. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And Alyssa, have you been? It's because your big thing's like swimming, right? Like swim meets and all that sort of thing, galas and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Have you been missing any of those for training?
I think she hasn't missed any. She's come in late a couple of times, and she has been noticeably distracted, which has affected her performance. She's at the very early stages of balancing her natural aptitude to the water now with her skill from before, and figuring that out is really difficult. So she's definitely tried to keep a low profile, but she hasn't missed anything. She has dipped out of all of her other social obligations, though. She has not spoken to anyone other than Serena, parents, and the teacher if they call on her, and the coach. That's it. Maybe a few words to someone who addresses her directly on the swim team.
Either of you can answer the following questions. Do you remember the first person outside of each of you who learnt about your powers? The answer can be no. This is improv, but it doesn't have to be yes and.
I'm gonna say no, but Serena does remember that they weren't sure at first if Serena had powers or if it was just Alyssa, and she remembers when they discovered that it was both of them.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the family vacation and what happened there?
Yeah. So we go on a family vacation every summer, and sometimes it was to an amusement park, sometimes it was just to a little bed and breakfast in a town a few hours away. And this past summer, we ended up getting a cabin in the woods, kind of a private cabin. And it's rented out throughout most of the year. And so we just went up there for a week and did a lot of woodsy type things. Sometimes we just like stayed in with quilts and games. But one day, Serena and I decided to go hiking. And a little ways back into the woods away from the cabin, we found a pool of water. It was like it's kind of tucked away off the beaten path, but it was really beautiful. And so we decided to go back and grab our swimsuits and go for a swim.
Would either of you like to describe the pool?
Sure.
Don't have to.
It's not huge, but it's a pretty good size at the same time. You can still swim across it. And at one edge, there's kind of some bubbling water that looks like it's coming up from somewhere underground at the base of a tree. And very faintly, because it's kind of covered by trees, there's not a lot of light in this area. What gets through is very small beams of sunlight, but faintly you can see odd shapes and things down at the bottom of the pond, the pool.
And I guess this is quite clean water, moving water perhaps off a hill or mountain or something like that? Sort of pooling here but moving?
It seems like an underground spring of some sort that is bubbling into this above ground pool. It's
beautiful.
But it's not moving or from another source, no.
Got it. Thank you. Serena. From Serena's point of view, what happened? How did you... I mean, I know what happened to Alyssa. I'd like to keep the wool over eyes a little bit of exactly what happened, because I don't want to reveal... I don't want to reveal the second to last thing just yet on your document. On the titles. But, from Serena's point of view, what happened that day?
So Serena was a little bit behind Alyssa, kind of dove straight in to the pool when they got there. But I think Serena probably had her camera with her, and so she was taking pictures first, so there was a delay. And then she had this moment after a little while of being separated from her sister, feeling like something was wrong. And hadn't like heard her. Like normally Alyssa would like come back and kind of like be like, come on. But she wasn't doing that, and so it felt kind of off. And so Serena just went to go look for her, and actually kind of found her not breathing well on the side of this pool of water.
Mhm.
And so she began CPR and tried to get her sister to start breathing again, and kind of got and was kind of partially in the pool still, so they were kind of half in, half out, and she's trying to get her sister to start breathing again. And she just remembers being so terrified that whole time. But the second Alyssa started to breathe, Serena felt at peace in this weird way. It was like the fear was very suddenly gone, rather than normally when you're scared and you get worked up, right? It takes a while for you to come down from that anxiety. But instead it was like, okay, she's fine. And it was there was this surety in knowing that Alyssa was fine. Like she just knew. Like exactly how you know, like how you're feeling. Which calmed her. But that was all Serena necessarily experienced of that. Was kind of the before and then the aftermath, and kind of bringing her sister back from the edge.
Yeah, I think I might add that when you were perhaps moving Alyssa, maybe something in the pool was trying to keep hold of her. If I can add that.
Yeah, it was almost like when they control water, right? It was the pool was actually almost stretching with Alyssa. Like as you would pull her, normally you wouldn't. The water isn't going to stick to you. You're just going to come out and it's going to keep the same shape. But this pool actually kind of changed shape until Serena was able to get her far enough away.
Yeah. Alyssa looked different, right, as well, when you pulled her away from the pool. Older?
She looked...
Weaker.
Yeah, she looked drained. You almost like see kind of like bags under her eyes, like you would expect to see with someone who'd been up all night for days on end. Alyssa's always been very strong and in shape, and she's constantly swimming like a fish. So the idea that she was struggling with anything related to water is like ridiculous to Serena. Shocking, in fact. And seeing her so worn out, so kind of emaciated almost. Was startling.
Yeah, I bet. And when you finally separate her from the pool, I think there might be like a hiss, maybe a steam that rises. as you feel that darkness, that worrying presence, that feeling that you had a moment ago lifting away. What did your parents say when you got back? Did they know? Did you tell them? Did you maybe have a conversation beforehand about strategizing? I know me and my sister always used to whenever something happened. Okay, what do we tell the adults?
I think mom and dad were like napping, like in the cabin maybe. And we were old enough that they would kind of let us go wander. Like, we've been here, like, this is a family spot. We've been here before, and it's kind of whatever, wander about. And so I imagine they kind of made their way back and kind of snuck back in, maybe through the back door or something, and went to their room and maybe like texted mom and was like, really worn out from swimming, going to take a nap, we'll be awake for dinner. So when they woke up, they would know that we were.
How did Alyssa feel for all of this?
She really had to lean on Serena to make it back to the cabin. And when she first laid down in her bed, she just kind of like rolled back to look at the ceiling and said, I don't feel good, and I keep seeing weird things.
Well, you look like hell.
Huh. Funny. I feel like hell.
What kind of weird things?
Really deep water. Darkness, swirling shadows, glowing objects, and I don't see them, but I feel like there are eyes somewhere watching me. I don't know if it's in the deep water or in one of the glowing objects or what, but I think they're watching. I don't know who they are, but it's like somehow I got their attention and I don't want it.
I'm pretty sure you just hit your head really hard.
I don't feel like I hit my head. I don't.
And
maybe.
I would like to very quickly move the narrative on and away as we get a little snapshot there. Thank you for that. Alyssa, we're at the last swimming gala. The one where you didn't do so well. What happened?
So early on, when I started this discovery, it was not long after the family vacation, and Serena and I started trying to decide what to do, and ultimately I felt like I'd passed whatever awkwardness or adaptation that I would need to do in order to get back to swimming at a normal pace and feel comfortable in the water. And I knew exactly at this point, or felt like I did, how to glide through the water like I am the water without actually becoming the water and giving everything away. And so when all of a sudden she felt someone looking at her again, it threw her focus way off course. She suddenly wondered if there was something in the pool or someone in the crowds, and then every time she took a breath, she found herself trying to glimpse something, but she didn't know what she was looking for. So every time she came up, she'd look, and that took longer than a short breath should take, and it slowed her pace, and she didn't see anyone. She didn't find anything. She wasn't sure exactly why the presence was there that day, but she felt it watching. She knew it was there. It's always there, but sometimes it's there.
Thank you. Jillian Song.
Yes.
Why don't we ask you the question? Do you remember when John asked you to the prom?
Of course I remember when John asked me to the prom. It was like the best day of my life.
Where were you?
So I think Jillian was, it was right after cheerleading practice. So cheerleading practice and football practice kind of go on concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right after cheerleading practice, right after football practice, probably talking among friends. It was actually not a very romantic way of asking. He kind of just like came up and was like, hey, do you want to go to the prom? Very sheepishly, almost as if like, you know, he was wondering if she was going to say yes or not. And if she had not said yes, he would have been like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
Okay, so can I ask who the friends you were with were?
Yeah, I was with my cheerleading friends. So same people, Sue, Billy. And I named my other cheerleading friend, and now I've forgotten her name.
I remember Billy's the boy.
Billy's a boy. There's Sue. Was it Sarah?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Clearly wasn't a very great friend.
I see 3 cheerleading friends. I see 3 other players sitting at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like which cheerleader? You're muted, Kelly. That looked like a very quick.
I would like to play whoever speaks last because I'm gonna take a bio break.
Okay.
I want to be Billy.
Okay.
Billy for Benishka.
Well, then I'll be Sue because we don't know who the third one is.
So you have until Kelly returns to remember the last cheerleader's name.
I think her name was Sarah. Was it Sarah?
Sarah? Okay, we'll go with Sarah.
I think so. All right.
We've got Jane? Sarah.
Sarah?
Okay.
I don't know.
Retcon. This is a superhero story. We can retcon if we want.
Exactly.
We can retcon anything you guys want at any time. So, conversation. You guys have just finished practice together.
Oh my gosh. Jill, how is your hair so cute today?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I've been using this new conditioner from Garnier for cheese.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, right. It's really great. And also I've been using this new hair mask. I'll totally get you the hookups, or you can come over. We can do our hair
I
together.
think I need them. We've been tumbling for hours and your hair still looks on fleek.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So who are you guys gonna go to the prom with?
If Trevor will get his head out of his butt and figure out if his manager will give him time off on prom night, then Trevor. If not, girls' night? We'll see.
Am I invited to girls' night? Because I'm going stag.
Of course you're invited, duh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So, if not Trevor, then you can come with me.
Yeah, okay. That would be great.
I can have 3 dates.
For a little while there, I thought you were going New York. You can't go with Trevor, you can come with me. Like Italian New York.
I'm not gonna risk it.
No, I'm kidding. It sounded a little bit like it.
And Faye told us she couldn't do many accents. The
No.
lies come clean. You have got Kelly.
We've decided that was her name.
I
Yeah.
do pull up my phone to look up Mage Hand on Fleek shampoo and conditioner. And hair mask.
Yep. We've been talking about who we were going to go to the prom with. What about you, Sarah? Who are you going to go to the prom with?
Oh, I don't know.
You could
I
always go
mean-
with Billy. He has 3 dates.
It's true.
Or I could not.
Come on. And Bill kind of drape his arm over Sarah's shoulder and be like, look, you under one arm, Jillian under the other, and what's the third one? Sue?
Sue.
Sue, you can hold my hand here. We'll be all great.
Unless Trevor comes.
Yeah.
Or we could not.
Crush a man's dreams. What can I tell you?
Yeah, I don't have a date either. It's like super lame. But yeah, I'll totally go with you, Billy.
Appreciate that. Pity date, but I'll take it.
It's not a pity date. We could totally match. You can use my new hair mask. It'll be great.
No, it's a pity date. He definitely just got rejected so hard by Sarah.
It's true. I don't know how I'm ever going to get over it.
I mean, you can't have all the best dates in school. That would be rude of you.
You know what? I'm not here to make sure other dudes get great dates. I'm here to make sure I get great dates. Why do you think I hang out with y'all?
Why do you need dates?
There's more than one day of the week.
There's
I've got
only
2
one
hands.
That's all right, Sarah. I know. You and me, we're good. We're good. It's all right.
I mean, I went to homecoming with you. Do I also need to go to prom with you?
Didn't you have fun at homecoming?
I mean, it was okay, I guess.
All I can say is I know how to show the ladies a good time.
You'll have some really hot pictures.
Of the group of us with Billy, what do we do? All match?
Yeah, we could. I hear the new color of the season is emerald green.
Oh, I look so good in emerald green.
I know, right? And then Billy could have like an emerald green bow tie.
Yes,
Billy. Orange one instead.
No.
Yeah, orange.
Yeah. Orange and green go well, right?
In Ireland.
Or we could not.
And at this point, you'll probably hear someone shout John as you can see John Dalkey, right?
Dalkey, yeah.
Heading towards you guys. But someone's thrown a football at him, and he just sort of like does the classic turn and catch, laughs, and then throws it back. But at the same time, it's also kind of thrown him off. It looked like he might have been heading your direction, and now he's sort of like stopped and just sort of.
Oh my gosh, everyone, be cool. Be cool. It's Jonathan Dalkey. Be cool.
I couldn't be uncool if I tried.
But like same.
I think like everyone else is being cool, and like Jill is not being cool. She's like trying to like make her hair look better. She's like straightening her uniform. She's
Yeah.
anything but cool right now.
Watching Jill be not cool is how everyone of her friends is cool.
And so in my head, I've got Jillian with back to John, so the rest of you can see him sort of like,
Yeah.
and then stride up and be like, hey, Jillian.
I think at this point, she like right before she comes, she takes like a huge drink from her water bottle. And so she turns around and she's like, uh-huh.
Hey.
And she swallows. She's like, hey.
Hey, you know, the prom's coming up, and I was wondering if you had a date yet?
Oh yeah, we were just talking about it. I mean, if we were gonna get dates, like all three of us were gonna go with Billy.
Or not.
Or not.
Oh, I mean, choice?
Yeah, I
But-
like choices.
Cool. I was, wondering if you weren't going with Billy, maybe you might want to. Hey, do you want to go to the prom with me?
I think at this point, like Jill is just so shocked that she would ask her that she just kind of like stares at him for a second and like doesn't say anything. It is like the most awkward like 20 seconds that has ever existed. And just like surprised Pikachu faces. So awkward. Just 20 seconds of silence.
I feel like Billy will kind of reach over, just kind of poke her in the shoulder.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, cool. Great. I mean,
We'll coordinate later, yeah?
yeah, like,
Yeah, I got your number. We'll text. Yeah.
yeah, I'd better hit the showers, training. Good, great, good.
Yeah, people shower after practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I shower after practice. I'm gonna go do that now.
Great. Me too. I also shower.
Suddenly he goes very red in the face. Great. I'll see you later.
Okay,
And
bye.
then
Okay, bye.
he does the sportsman's jog away. Whew. It's all well thinking, what the am I
Jesus
doing?
Christ. That whole conversation was just like my entire high school career. Ooh, all right.
So,
Oh my gosh, all I am saying is if you are going with John Dalkey, Trevor better get off work because no offense, Billy, but if it's not all three of us going with you, you are definitely going stag.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Did I sound stupid? Oh my gosh, I was like totally drinking water when he first came up to me. Did I sound
Only a
stupid?
little bit. Only a little bit.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
it was like cute stupid, right?
Okay. I just
So,
told
like-
him that I showered. That was
Yeah.
really stupid.
I mean, it's better that he thinks that you shower than that you don't shower.
That's true. That
Well,
is
that
true.
you're laughing about it already. That's a good sign, and he's probably laughing about it too in a good way.
Okay.
By the time prom is over, you guys will look back at this and laugh. Like, haha, do you remember when we were really uncomfortable?
When you're
Great.
dating John Delkey.
Smash
my
cut to John in the showers, just like slowly banging his head against the tiles. Like, how did that go? How did that go? Smash cut back.
Oh, God. My chick friends are great.
Yeah. All right.
So, my next question for Jillian
Mm-hmm.
is: do you remember when your powers first manifested?
Yes. So what was happening was we were at cheerleading practice. That's all of Jillian's answers. Obviously, we were at cheerleading practice, and so Jillian, being 6 feet tall and pretty strong already, just as a girl, she was always the base. So like when they do the human pyramid, she's on the bottom. She's part of like tossing people in the air. I was never in cheerleading. I don't know what that's called, but she tossed people in the air. And the first time that her powers manifested, she actually threw Sue, her friend Sue, really high in the air, like probably like several hundred feet into the air.
Fantastic. Same characters. Let's role play it. What are you for? So this is just practice, not a competition.
No,
Yeah.
this is just practice. This is during practice, probably, before Jonathan Dalkey asked her to prom. And she was, they were doing like a move where there's like 2 people on the base and they're throwing 2 people up and they're going to like jump and then flip up and do a move and then like come down and people will catch them. And you see like Billy tossing Sarah, normal, right? She gets tossed, she does her move, she comes down. And then Jillian is tossing Sue and she just tosses. And then like everyone just like looks up and it's like, 5 seconds later, like, where is Sue?
Like hanging from the rafters.
Yeah.
Go. This has never happened to Jillian before. She just thought that she threw someone. She assumed that they were going to come down. She was going to catch them. So she like puts out her arms to catch them, and she's just not there.
I almost wish that this had been Sarah now, because this could have been the perfect segue into why we can't remember Sarah's name, because we didn't make it.
But I think like everyone's down and they're like, well, why can't we continue with the routine? And then you see Sue reappear, like tumbling in the air, probably like several feet from where she had been thrown. And Jillian does one of those like dive catches
Mm-hmm.
and actually catches her.
We'll say
so
that there's
she doesn't die.
heavy set padding around as well, because this is
Yeah.
practice. There'd be pads and safety equipment around.
Sure.
Probably not 120 feet's worth. Did Sue receive any injuries during this event?
Is this like, are we outside? And so this is just,
Yeah.
I
No, you're not
Night,
inside.
like,
I just like,
blasting off again and then came back down.
yeah, I can like throw you into the ceiling of like the gym.
Yeah, no, outside
You're
practice.
totally outside.
And then you hear like the screams start again as she like reappears and is coming back down.
So Jillian partially breaks the fall, and then Sue hits the crash mat and Jillian. We'll say miraculously there was no injuries. No
Okay.
injuries, just shock.
Yeah.
Go from there.
No, Sue like ducks away to go toss her lunch real fast.
Oh my gosh, Sue, are you okay? Where did you go?
She
Where
dives
did
behind
you
the bleachers.
throw me?
Oh my gosh, have you been dieting? I keep telling you, stop dieting. You're already like 90 pounds and like a 00. You can't lose any more weight.
No, I'm
Like a feather.
okay. I'm a flyer. I have to take care of it's. I'm fine, I think, but that wasn't me.
routine's cancelled. Billy and Sarah can also rush over and be part of this. Squad goals.
She was just like sitting on the ground now, like holding her stomach.
I think I've just been hitting the gym really hard. I guess I should stop. I mean, like, I was trying to get strong because I wanted to be able to throw you as high as Billy threw Sarah.
It worked. I think I went higher.
Jill. I'm pretty
What?
sure I know some guys on the football team that aren't, necessarily doing what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to what they're taking, and they still can't throw somebody that high.
Well, I didn't mean to. I think it was probably a combination. Like, I've been working out. Sue's probably been losing weight.
Dieting?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I've been like watching what I eat because, like, I'm trying to build muscle for the season.
Spinach, just a lot of spinach.
Yeah, like Popeyes.
Can we all take a moment and understand how ridiculous that is?
I'm just really grateful that 2 cheerleaders just got that reference. 2 high school cheerleaders. Like, who knows how long Popeye's been around
That's true.
before their time.
I know.
Hey, this is set in like fusion future. Popeyes is totally around.
Fine.
There's, in fact,
Popeye
actually a
breed.
superhero that does do that, who goes by Popeye because of the old cartoon.
Yes,
It's a lot of spinach too, and it's
Yeah.
very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to. I'm really sorry. I'll work on it. I'll just like lightly toss you next time.
I don't know if I want to.
Okay, well, what about you and Sarah switch?
Or we could not.
Okay.
Okay,
Can we at least not do it again today?
okay,
I
maybe
don't
we can
think
cancel.
I could handle any more throws. Basket tosses.
Okay, I mean, I think, today was a rough practice. We'll go home, regroup, and then we'll come back and yeah. And we'll talk about the routine, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna just stop by the pharmacy and maybe grab some motion sickness.
Okay. Do you want some ginger?
Ginger's great. Do you have tea?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can go stop by the what is it? The journal club?
Oh yeah, the newspaper.
We can go stop by the newspaper club. They definitely always have tea. They probably have ginger tea.
So true. Okay. I'm feeling better already. See? Thanks for catching me, Jill.
Okay. Well, I did throw you, but you're welcome.
Yeah, but I hate to think what would have happened if you didn't then catch me after. Like,
See, at least like I was gonna catch you.
yeah.
All about the trust fall.
Yeah.
Oh. I think we go get some tea at this point.
For
I want to
sure,
force
yes,
you
thank you.
over to get some tea.
And I think like Sarah hangs behind a little bit with Billy and is just like, does everybody really think that just like happened?
I saw it. Do you want to try?
No.
Because
Sarah's very good about her boundaries. No.
you go, girl.
So,
Okay, then I guess we'll just move on.
does Jillian believe that her friends don't think she has any kind of powers? Because seems quite public.
Yeah. So she's tried to keep it under wraps. I think like this was like a one-time thing, and she's actually never publicly displayed her powers since. She's been working very hard to try and make it so that everything seems normal and everything seems like, you know, is like, I think the next time she throws Sue, she actually throws her a little bit like too lightly, you know, so she's only able to do like one flip instead of her like multiple flips in the air. And she's like, sorry, I just didn't have the strength today, kind of thing, to try and like play off of it. But she is doing everything possible to try and make it so that she does not seem like she has superpowers.
Okay.
Whether or not her friends think she has superpowers, that's up to them.
I'm actually gonna ask the other players around the table playing those characters. What did they think? Do they think that it's just a one-off thing and then they forget about it, or do you think it would stick with them?
Sue definitely looks for like radioactive spinach for a little while on Jill's plate. But I think there are enough strange things that if it was covered well, she tries to shrug it off, especially if it doesn't happen again. And that doesn't mean it doesn't cross her mind sometimes, but for the most part, she's just, we live in a world of superheroes and sometimes strange things happen. There really could have been something in the spinach that day.
Could have been. And does Jillian like go forward doing the whole Clark Kent thing of like, oh, I can't open these pickles, can you help? And
oh yeah, totally. She plays that up. Totally plays it up.
Billy's convinced. It was just a fluke. Who knows what happened? Not even sure he really saw anything weird.
Yeah, he was like focused on throwing Sarah and catching Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering why the routine stopped.
Yeah.
I think Sarah is highly suspicious, but she's also like, oh, I mean, if we're just gonna go with like the whole ignoring it thing, like I'll do that too. That's fine. Like, she's suspicious, but she's not like judgy about it. She's just like, you do you, I'll do me. That'll be great. Like, she's not gonna like poke at it or pry at it or pick at it or anything like that. She's like, I'm very aware that happened. It's a thing. That's fine. It's just gonna help us win the next competition.
Perfect. So, are there any other memories that any of you would like to touch on before we go back to now? Okay. So, on this reflective car journey, how about we pull up at the diner? Serena, can you tell us about your place of work?
So it's very much like an American style diner. It's actually kind of 50s themed almost. So it's got like the black and white checkered floor, and it's got like the red booths and the red poofy bar stools all around, and all the like metallic detailing or whatever. I think it's not like the hip place to go after school or anything, so it's not like a huge meeting place for everyone, but it's not unusual to see students there. Like they might pop in late at night. There's probably it gets really busy after like football games and after like the dances or whatever, when people are looking for some place that's open late. It's open all night long. And yeah, and so like there's usually like a couple of people in there, but it's not like super busy.
Okay. So when you get there, you know, there's someone at the door greeting customers, and when they see you, Serena, they say, oh boy, you know, he's real mad today.
Isn't he real mad every day?
Well, yeah, but normally you're roughly on time.
I mean, I'm almost always on time. Okay, I mean, I'll just get to work and we'll see if he says anything.
Okay, I won't tell him that you only just turned up or anything like that.
I appreciate it.
This
Thanks for
NPC's
calling
from everywhere.
I've been everywhere.
He's secretly a superhero, but that's all he can do is just change his accent really dramatically.
All over the place, yeah. Sure. You guys can get a booth or a table or whatever you want. Serena, you can just do whatever you normally do.
Yeah, so I imagine it's she like has like pulls out her apron and it's like got like Lou's Diner or whatever on it. And it's a little old fashioned behind the back because they want to keep to like the aesthetic or whatever. So there's actually like time cards you have to check in and check out on or whatever. And she like immediately goes behind the counter and like grabs a pot of coffee and a bunch of mugs and like brings coffee or tea over to everybody. And just kind of immediately just gets to work and doesn't worry too much about her boss, hoping that he'll just ignore her.
Yeah, and at some point when you go back, there's bound to be an interaction, but for the time being, you're okay. What do the rest of you do as you sit down?
I definitely order a milkshake. 50s style milkshake with like one of those glasses that look like this, and it's got a cherry on top with like the striped straw that comes out like that.
Yeah.
There is a corner booth that is kind of tucked away, and if you sit like in the back corner, no one can really see you, and that's where Alyssa leads the group.
Yeah, I like that. As you're walking, you can see all these boys gathering in the yard. We can redact that. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
No, that's canon.
Yeah, is John Dalkey there?
Just sniffing around.
That's the only boy she cares that her milkshake brings to the yard.
Okay, so you guys can take a seat in this booth in the corner.
She turns to Alyssa and says, "I could teach you, but I'd have to charge."
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. That's not actually what happened.
I'm sorry, I set this train off the rails.
I know
I
you
only
did,
have
I'm
myself to blame.
All right.
Okay, so you guys just set up. I guess maybe Serena will be fetching your orders so that you guys can have snippets of conversation. If we remember the recap, you just had a test that didn't go so great. What happens?
Lila, I'm really sorry I threw you into a wall.
That's okay. I'm fine now.
I mean, I was hoping that you would just like do your like teleporting thing.
Yep. Yep, that probably would have been a better idea than just, hitting it, but I'm still learning.
Yeah, me too.
Do you do a lot of chin-ups?
No, I don't really work out at all anymore, actually. I mean, it's just all too easy. Like, I didn't want to scare anybody because I went to the gym and, I put on one plate and I was going to squat it. It was just too easy. So I put on 2 plates and then I squatted that and it was too easy. So I put on 3 plates and then people just started to look at me. So then I stopped.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How long has this been going on?
Let's see. Probably like less than a year. Like only, I don't know. I want to say like maybe like 9 months ago. There was this weird incident where I threw my friend really high in the air during cheerleading practice. And then I realized like everything was just really easy to do. Like nothing was heavy anymore. I could just pick up anything. I mean, I haven't tried like picking up like a house, but like, you know, like I could pick up cars. That was cool. That was, you know, no big deal. What about you guys? How long have you noticed you had powers?
No, nine months seems about right.
That's pretty specific. I got the string from my grandpa. That was 7, 8 years ago. But I only put it on 2 years ago, I think. And that's can't get it off now.
I think Serena would come back over with the like ridiculous looking milkshake with this like aggressive amount of whipped cream on the top.
Yeah.
And like this very large like red and white straw.
Yes.
That she puts on the table.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you're welcome. I'm just gonna look around, and if there's nobody else like hollering for her, she'll kind of sit down with them.
Yeah, we'll say the place is quite empty, despite the fact that your boss is usually quite angry. It's quite early in the evening. You had to start during like dead of the afternoon, you know, like probably during rush hour when no one's really at a diner. So, you know, there's not really many customers at the moment. We'll ignore the traffic implications of rush hour, and just use the convenient diner implications.
I imagine that a diner is the kind of place you go to for late night snackage, right?
This is our city. We can make it be however we want.
Yeah.
True.
Like I'm imagining like an upscale Waffle House kind of location.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
I heard that there was going to be pie. Do you have pumpkin?
I mean, I don't. It's spring. We don't usually keep pumpkin pie around except for during the holidays. But there's like cherry pie and apple pie and blueberry pie and some kind of French silk pie, and then there's like a key lime pie.
Do we have one of each?
Slices or pies?
No, slices. Oh my gosh, I'm watching my weight.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. Hold on, I might need to grab one of them from the back. Let me just go check. And she'll go try and find as much pie as she can locate.
And I'm inclined to ask, what is Jillian's body shape? Like, we can see that they don't mind eating plenty of whipped cream and pie.
Yeah.
Are they, like, with their super strength, are they also, like, toned? Are we looking at a Zarya? Are they tiny? Are we looking at a hero's cheerleader?
No, she's like Xena warrior princess build. So like really tall, probably like broad shouldered. Not overweight necessarily, but probably like very, very muscular. And I think one of the things that she probably realized when she got her super strength was just that she was like hungry all the time. And there's probably some metabolism of it where like she needs to eat a lot of food because like she uses her super strength and that burns a lot of calories somehow.
Okay, cool.
So she's never really eaten this much before, but then like when she developed her superpowers, she's just like Michael Phelps, 10,000 calories a day.
So, sorry, I just suddenly had an image in my head of John Dalkey just saying "Step on me." We'll carry on. I can't get it out of my head. Great. So Serena, you go back to look for pie. as you go back, your boss is out there. Hey, Serena! Oh, wow, he wasn't Romani. Hey, Serena, you didn't check in.
Oh yeah, sorry. My sister and some of her friends needed to get picked up from school, so I was running by a few minutes late.
But you didn't clock in.
Oh, I just got to work right away. I will go take care of that.
All right, you know you don't get paid for hours you don't clock, right?
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Anyway, there's someone on the phone for you.
On the phone? Here?
I don't know. They just rang me. Some sort of newspaper people or something.
Okay. I'll go. I'll clock in and then go do that. Thank you. And she'll go answer the phone.
Alright, don't take forever. It's only the phone we got in this place. I'm gonna pick up the slack, while you're back there. And he just goes and, leans on the counter. Doing nothing, not even looking at the customers. As you get to the phone, you can hear a very professional voice on the other end of the line, possibly of British descent. Hello, is that Miss Serena Carter?
Yes, this is she.
Yes, terribly sorry to call you. I've been trying to call you for the last few days. I got this number from the school. We received your recent application.
Oh, for my internship application. Yeah.
You included your work at the school, and we would like to offer you a paid internship or temporary position.
Oh, really? Sorry. When would you like me to start?
And at this point, your boss comes back into the office I forgot some paperwork. So you can hear them on the other end saying, honestly, we're always looking for more writers and reporters and journalists. So really, as long as it's not too much for your schoolwork, you could start whenever you like.
That's
your,
great to hear.
Your boss on the other side of the counter is like, who is it?
Oh, it's nobody.
Sorry.
So I'm sorry. I'm at work with my boss, and he I don't want to spoil the news.
Right. Yes. Say no more. Do you have a pen and paper handy?
Yeah. Hold on. And she actually takes out her notepad from her pocket that she usually writes orders on.
When it's convenient, call us back during office hours on this number, and it's like an 888-500 whatever.
What are your office hours?
Oh, midnight to midnight.
So call back anytime.
Yes, I guess so. Just not at the weekends.
Oh, I can do that. I will give you a call tomorrow.
Pleasure speaking with you, Serena.
I didn't catch your name.
Cheek.
Oh, thanks. It was nice speaking to you. Thank you for the wonderful news.
Thank you. It was wonderful speaking to you, Miss Carter.
Bye.
Bye now. Oh, we both said goodbye this time. How non-passive aggressive.
And I think she kind of hangs up the phone and looks at her boss, and she's like, "Okay, I'm done now."
You're done now.
I'm done on the phone, so I can go back to the floor and you can go back to your accounts.
I don't expect any cheek off you, Missy.
Of course not.
Alright, go on, get back out there. You're not done until you hit the floor. Go on.
Okay. And she just kind of walks away.
And you see him sit down, and then after a couple of minutes, like, as the door sort of, like, swings shut, after a couple of minutes, pulls out a newspaper and a bottle of whiskey. We're back in the diner.
Hey, so someone said that they had, like, books that might help us study for superheroing?
Yeah. Lila pulls out the I don't know, book series, I suppose, Heroes Through the Ages. And there's 5 different Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5. Just kind of categorizing a ton of different superheroes. So just kind of goes, thunks them on the table. I have a couple.
Do you mind if I just kind of...
Oh, yeah. Start in the middle if you want.
Alyssa takes several of them and skips to the indexes and starts trying to look for water, eyes, ancient fountains in the woods, anything that might possibly relate to her current situation.
I think Jillian does the same. She like grabs the book and that like the index is like from R to U or something, and she like flips through the middle to find like super strength.
Yeah, totally. And what you find is a list of superheroes with various powers. There is, of course, the fabled equivalents of the heroes we know well. There's always going to be super strength, bitten by a bug, solar powered energy, from a different planet. Thank you. There's radiation disaster leads to over muscly person with rage problems. You name it, they're all in there.
I hope these are actually their superhero names.
Yeah, that's their names. Yeah.
Bitten by a bug.
Extra muscly rage problem.
Extra muscly rage
Average
problem.
alien.
Oh no, it's radiation accident coming.
But it seems like there's a million different ways you can get super strength. Super strength is almost like the, like it can happen any old how, from nuclear disaster to waking up one day with powers, which seems closer to you.
Yeah.
Alyssa researching for ancient fountains, water nymphs, and all that sort of thing.
People, eyes, anything that might relate.
A lot of the ledgers in this book say consult the Demonomicon. Whenever you look at like evil eyes watching from the darkness or that sort of thing, it's like consult the Demonomicon. There's also a lot of things like if the person is wearing a dark hat or mask and that sort of thing, it could be this. If you see glowing eyes, consult the Demonomicon. That sort of like footnote sort of thing seems to just crop up a lot. Like, do they seem nondescript? Can you describe them at all? Do they have long curly tails with forked ends? Consult the Demonomicon.
Demonomicon. Do either of you know?
You're
okay,
muted.
We can't hear you.
I've never heard of this, but I've also never really looked. But it sounds like it's like a book of demons.
Yeah, I'd say maybe it does.
Would I'd like to say that Lila has heard of this, even if she doesn't have a copy. Just because she has superheroes through the ages, and she's maybe been looking into this a little bit further over the last couple of years.
Lila, where did you get these books? Could we also get the Demonomicon from the same place?
Oh, these were in my grandpa's library. So I don't know where he got them from. I think the Demonomicon, that one.
Demonomicon?
Yeah. I think that one's really hard to get a hold of. I've been looking for a while.
Definitely from the same publishers, hence all the references.
So
You know where we could look? The library.
Yeah.
There's
Do
like
you
a
have
restricted section.
Book that would be in the library? The restricted section?
Honestly, I'm not even sure where the publisher is anymore. They don't have a website. They're not on the internet anywhere.
Yeah, if you look down the spine, it says Perrinlands Publishing.
I think Jillian very quickly tries to Google this on her phone.
Nothing comes up. Something about off-color birds. Grey hawks, if you will.
All right, well, I say the library. I don't have any other leads. I don't really, do we have any like old bookstores?
We could try those. I think there's probably one in this like the strip district, right? Like with the little shops and the markets and things. They probably have something like that.
Yeah, we could look there.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would be interested.
I am not assuming the worst. I'm assuming cultural difference. When you say strip district,
It's like a
Like strip mall. Like you've got like lots of little shops.
okay, got it.
it's like
People are taking off their clothes.
Yeah,
Not
not
that
red
kind.
light, not red light.
No,
Got it.
not that one.
no different kind. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sitting over here throwing out candy floss all over the place and all that sort of stuff.
Like the strip is usually like a shopping area in
Yeah.
town.
Okay, got it. Like high streets, I guess, or something like that.
What does candy floss have to do with anything? What?
Earlier we were talking about cotton candy,
Okay, got it.
which in England is known as candy floss. You missed a whole fair.
I'm sorry. I think I knew that candy floss was cotton candy was called candy floss.
Awesome.
It's very strange. Because it sounds like you like
Yeah,
Would-
until recently,
Anyway.
flossing wasn't that big a thing in the UK. Anyway,
oh no.
let's carry on.
Anyway, I think Serena comes back with an abundance of pie.
Oh my gosh, so great.
And there's like 6 or 8 slices of pie on this giant tray that she has, and she puts the whole tray down on the table.
Oh my gosh, which one would you suggest we start with?
I mean, I really like the French silk pie, but that's because I like chocolate.
I hope like she brought 4 spoons and it's not just 1 spoon.
She brought She brought in multiple spoons. Yes.
All right.
She's like, so now we're looking for some kind of book. I have good news, by the way. She looks over at Alyssa. And she's like, one of the newspapers that I applied to called me, and I think I have a new job.
What's
No
the
way.
newspaper called?
That's a great question.
The Daily Trumpet.
Like it's the big newspaper in town.
Wait,
Maybe
here?
might have been the Weekly Bugle. I'm not sure.
Is that because
I
they
really
herald the
tried
new?
not to laugh. It didn't work. I wasn't going to give you that one, but it was good. Wait, here? Like in town?
Yeah, the main newspaper in town.
That's amazing. That would be amazing. That sounds like right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty surprised.
Hey,
oh
do you
my god,
know
sorry,
where
surprise anyway.
find Hey, do you know where we could find the Demonomicon?
Oh, what do you want?
The Demonomicon.
Is that like Comic-Con?
No, never mind. That helps. That's fine. Thanks.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't help. No, but anyway, but yeah, they called and they told me to call back and start whenever. Apparently they're kind of desperate for I can't look at Zoom chats, I have my hand up. Apparently they're like desperate for journalists, which means it sounds like I can probably stay in town another year.
Oh, that is amazing news. Are you happy with it? Do you feel okay about that?
I mean, I think I need to know more about what they have to say first. Right?
Right, yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know how much they're paying me, and I don't know how much work they actually want to do. You know how they treat interns usually. They're like, yeah, we'll pay you barely minimum wage and you can work 3 hours a week.
Yeah. But
So we'll see.
you'd be
But-
good.
Eat as much pie as you want, because hopefully I won't be here anymore.
Jill has not listened to any of this. She is like shoveling pie in her face like there's no tomorrow.
And yeah, but wait, so what is a Demonomicon? And why are we looking for it?
It's a book where it's a book where there's demons in it.
Yeah, basically.
Ah, I mean, I guess that name makes sense. Demon. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we were gonna go down to this strip and like find a shop that could have it, because like it's probably in one of those old bookshops or the library. I don't know. Wherever you find books.
I mean, if it's a book on
Yeah.
demons, we could also check the church thrift store.
Maybe we just need to make friends with an old British librarian.
Yeah. Named
Which I
Giles or
have.
Giles.
Yes. Thank you.
All of these sound like such great options.
Maybe what's his face, our trainer, will be happy that we're working together to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can carry a lot of books.
That is a very useful skill.
In case the Demonomicon also comes in 5 parts.
It's true. You never know. There's probably lots of demons out there.
Yeah.
Would the idea of demons be common to us?
Yeah, do we know anything about
Because like
demons?
superheroes are common. But does
So
this seem fantastical to us, or is it like, okay, yeah.
Like, do
you
superheroes? Oh, go ahead.
no, it's okay. You would know that there is Professor Weird who sometimes helps out the Revengers. That seems to deal in that sort of thing a lot. But that's like A grade superheroes, you know, best of the best. You know, local news usually only hits like the C and B stars.
Yeah, the kind of friendly neighborhood superheroes versus the Captain Planet. Okay, I think Serena would just be like, well, I mean, I've already gotten yelled at, and so I should probably finish my shift at least today.
Yeah.
And the library is probably closing soon anyway. Maybe tomorrow after school we could go do some research.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I don't have any practice tomorrow.
I'm game. I can skip practice. I'll just run afterward.
Run from school to the library.
Yeah.
Just jogging. Yeah. And maybe tonight we could just kind of talk more about how our powers might work together.
Yeah.
That was the plan. I kind of derailed things with the Demonomicon. That's on me.
No, but it's good.
appreciate
I
all of
mean,
your enthusiasm for finding this book as well.
we need to know what's out there.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And Serena, you're gonna get a text from Maddie.
Okay.
It just says shame you had to skip out on shame you had work tonight. Milkshakes tomorrow? Question mark. Heart emoji. She's a double hearter.
Crap. Guys, how about I meet you wherever you end up tomorrow. So if like the library is successful, I can meet you there. If not, I'll meet you at the shops. Maddie wants to get milkshakes tomorrow, and I blow her off at least once a week, so I should probably stick to this one.
Okay, we'll text you if we find anything.
Okay, yeah, and I will tell her that I have to keep it short because I have to prep for my internship. And I will come and meet you guys once we're done. And so she just texts Maddie back like, sure, after school. Smiley question mark, smiley face.
She's tick goes blue immediately. You get a great heart smiley face star. Lila, you get a text. This one is nowhere near as fun. It's sorry, your parents are still around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your mum saying, "Hey, where are you?"
I'll text back. Practice went late. Stopped and grabbed food on the way home.
You just get okay, cool. Let me know when you're on your way back.
Will do. Love
Not
you.
actually a lie.
True. Yeah. Jillian, you do not get a text.
Oh.
All right. But I imagine you've got a bunch of notifications on your
On my Insta.
well, I wasn't gonna say Insta. I was gonna say cheerleading group chat.
Oh God.
You must have a cheerleading group chat, right?
Oh yeah, there's totally a cheerleading group chat. Yes.
At the moment, they're all posting the latest thing, which is the latest memes from the latest show that was out that you missed tonight.
Roll for a seat.
Roll for a seat, yeah. There was someone who pulled a whole bunch of funny faces, so there's just memes on memes.
She likes them, you know. She pretends like she knows what they're talking about. It's all about the image.
Is there anything else that you would like to do in the diner?
Do I get a text?
Alyssa, you don't get a text.
That's okay. No one would want to text me anyway.
No.
I feel like you set this up.
It's so weird seeing very smiley Renee, like yeah, like that. It's really weird to me. I don't know. I think Serena would just be like trying to get through the day. I think she's got so much like pent up energy now because of everything that's happened, like all of this news and all of these things, and she's just like
well, Serena, it's not easy to get through your day because your boss is constantly up your ass. He decides to step away from his whiskey newspaper thing and give you hassle. You turned up late today. There's not a lot of people in. So he's just like, hey, have you wiped down the counters yet? I'm expecting a rush any minute. It's like 11:30. I'm expecting a rush. We gotta keep this place ready to go.
I'm pretty sure you could eat off the counter, sir. And I already picked all the gum out from underneath the tables.
All right, good. Look, the signage is still out front. That needs to come in.
But I thought you'd want it out front for the rush.
Yeah, well, don't ask questions. Just do the things. Get the stuff in. I want the barriers out back. No one's gonna eat outside this late. Get the outside stuff out back, would you?
But what if I'm not inside when the rush hits?
Well, if the rush hits, get inside quick. What do you think I pay you for? And you know you're on service wage. Which I hate to make a part of this world, but I feel like I have to.
Just at this particular diner.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like, she just does it. And in her head, she's just thinking like, she's like, just get through this shift and then you can quit.
But it just goes on and on like that. He just has you doing menial tasks. He asks you to rearrange the tables at one point, and all sorts of just like stupid things, just tasks that really don't need doing.
Clean off the lid of all the salt shakers.
Uh-huh. Yeah, cleaning all the salt shakers,
Counting and doing the inventory of the napkins again.
Yeah, checking bookings for the next month. He asks you to do that 4 times. There are no bookings.
We don't even really take reservations.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't happen. And okay, so as we get to the end of the diner scene, there's nothing anyone else wants to do. Great. We're going to pan away from our heroes for a minute. We pan away to the same place we saw at the end of last week's episode, where a man in the suit was addressing... I've forgotten the superhero's name. I keep thinking of him as Mole Man.
Undertow.
Undertow, thank you. Yeah, Undertow.
I've been fleeting about it.
Except This time it's not Undertow in this room. It's I'm calling him Debonair Maybe Hero Neutral Chaos, who I think I'd like to paint him a little bit like what's his name? Is it Young Kook from BTS? But with like longer hair and a fag on. If you don't know him, Google him. He's beautiful.
What does he have on?
BTS is beautiful.
Sorry. Just
Wait,
like
what-
longer hair and hang on, I've got a whole I happen to have a search list open for no reason whatsoever.
Casually googling BTS earlier.
Just
Amazing.
casually.
No,
just
there was nothing casual about it. There was a lot of talking in our Discord chat about it.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, that might be why it's on my mind. But longer hair, white hair, and yeah, he's there like, well, what's in it for me? And a butler-esque sort of person steps forward and says, you understand, Mr. Chaos, that there is a great amount of money to be made. However, discretion is very much needed. We don't want to involve any B or A class heroes. We don't even want them to know what's going on. We want to keep this to C class heroes strictly. If that much. Okay, so what if I just turn you in? There's a great amount of money to be made, Mr. Chaos. Please do consider. We haven't really given you any information at all yet. And there's a very long pause as Mr. Neutral Chaos sort of eyes the butler, eyes the person who is, of course, obscured by a shadow, so we can't see his face yet, and sort of says, "All right, I'm interested." And as they move forward and start doing business, we'll pan back out again. And I think that's where I'd like to end this week's episode. How are you feeling, everyone?
Bum, bum, bum.
Good.
Teehee.
Good, yeah.
Nice.
Good. I am glad. I'll also put that search in the Twitch chat as well, so you can all go and check them out. I believe the link worked.
I think that I made progress today in Alyssa's personal quest, so I can mark potential instead of doom this week. Nice.
Yeah, well done. And it's only you that has to do that on the doomed, right? Because Serena's is different.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Serena doesn't have a nemesis, so I don't think she does that part.
Yes. And we haven't seen Jillian's nemesis yet.
No, not yet.
Teehee.
But we've heard rumors.
Mm.
Teehee.
So far, her nemesis is Alyssa for getting better grades than her and talking to Jonathan Dowgie.
You're going to prom with him, it's fine.
Yeah, right? Hopefully. The most awkward prom ever, the way that it's
yeah,
set up
yes,
right
you
now.
never know.
Oh boy.
Stories change.
I am looking forward to next week. So
Oh no.
Teehee. We don't go around. We've got a credits for that. What we are going to do is we will head over to the Discord, where we have renamed the old group chat to this group chat, and we'll talk about what happened today and where we think the story is going. And yeah, that's the things. Please take a moment to check out all of the finishing, all of the donkeys are aliens. Donkeys are aliens. Please take a moment to check out all of the links that the bot is currently spamming in the chat as we close up the session. We'll see you over in the Discord, which is the second link posted by the bot. And yeah, thanks you all for coming along. We'll be back in around 40 minutes for Eden. Or Return to Eden, rather, Season 2. I understand it's gonna be... Alice is ramping things up now. Now is the time not to miss things. So... I'm so cruel. We will see you all later for Eden. We'll see you again at this time next week for more Just Because You Can. Until then, keep on evoking emotions, and we'll catch you all later. Bye!